All right, what's going on, y'all? So here, still at E3. Now this time I got my boy Prince Kazama with me from Junkie Monkeys. Say what up to people.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? It's Chris PKZ Kazama from Junkie Monkeys, Breezy TV from YouTube, the light-skinned Pokemon trainer. Check me out.
That was the craziest plug ever. I don't know why you holding that mic like you about to strangle that shit though.
This my dead face.
But
it's my hype face. Go ahead.
All right, so we're gonna review Sony's E3 press conference, and it was just bangers. They was just going back to back, non-stop onslaught. It was crazy. So we're gonna start off with God of War. No actual number title at the end. So right now it's just God of War, but we know it is a sequel. It happens after the events of God of War 3. So what are your thoughts overall on God of War 3 and everything you saw?
Well,
God of War 4, excuse me.
Definitely, I think the presentation and how they introduced it was crazy. We were in the second row, and they had the instruments, the live instruments playing, so they kind of teased it, and me and BG were sitting right next to each other like, yo, don't tease this, don't do this. And the next thing you know, you see Kratos comes out. But the Kratos we seen definitely looked different from the Kratos that we used to, but the gameplay and the overall visuals and everything just looked amazing. I mean, the artwork, the voice, it was nuts.
Yeah, the textures were amazing. Like it felt like, you know, just the detail on his skin was on a whole nother level. And he still had the ashes, right?
Yeah.
So which is pretty interesting because he still has the ashes of his you know, his family on his skin.
Which is like the Ghost of Sparta joint, which is crazy. Is like the game is supposed to be following like the Norse, yeah, right. So, but when you do the Ghost of Sparta thing, it says Spartan Rage, so it's like it's weird.
That was an Easter egg.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. So it's just weird how that did that.
Right, and technically, I feel like it was Hades or Zeus who bound those ashes to his skin, but he killed everybody. So it's funny that, you know, those ashes are still attached to him.
Yeah.
But now he doesn't have like the blades of chaos anymore. And we got to see it's a more humanized Kratos because he's taking care of a child. We don't know if it's necessarily his actual child. We know he talks about the child's mother from time to time.
Yeah, I think when he was telling him, he was talking to the boy, he said, you know, this is your mother's knife. You know, you got to prove to see if you're ready and shit like that. So yeah.
I wanted to know, was that the same voice actor? It sounded like he had an accent, a little bit.
Is it a new guy? It kind of sounded like them in moments, but at the same time, no, I can see new voice acting.
So that's interesting because it's significantly an older Kratos.
Yeah.
And who knows how old Kratos can actually live to, because he is a demigod.
Yeah.
So they probably just want a different voice actor to, you know, make him sound different.
You know, speaking of demigods, yo, did you check his weapon, yo? Because he really had some Thor type stuff going on with his weapon. He hit the enemy with the weapon, had him bound to the wall with the ice, and then he brought it back to his hand. So
right.
I thought that was really dope as well.
Exactly. He was taking on some you know, enemies along the path, teaching this boy how to hunt. Apparently these boys need to get his rite of passage. It kind of gave you that Joel and Ellie effect.
Yeah.
You know, with Joel carrying Ellie around, you know, he's training this little boy. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a co-op action going on in this game.
Yeah, one thing to mention, I did speak to one of the devs on that. They said that this story will follow a path of both him and his son and how he's struggling to try to have this bond with his son, which I find pretty cool. So there will be a transition in which you'll play as him and his son in the game. Right,
because during the demo you saw how he was pretty rough, right?
Yeah.
He was being a little bit of a jerk, but that's Kratos,
well.
right? But then he tried to like calm it down and be compassionate. But I'm sure it's hard to do that after you've killed everybody in a pantheon, and then you got to raise, you know, everybody in Olympus, and then you got to raise a son. It's probably difficult. But we saw him take on that boss. The combat is different. It seemed, in the demo at least, it seemed a little bit more simplified, but I'm assuming the further you get in the game, and we're going to see some more footage later on of the combat system being a little bit more than what it was, a little bit more robust.
Yeah, I definitely seen the combat being a little bit more in depth. We were talking to devs earlier, and they were saying that they were cutting out the camera angles like they used to do it in the older God of War games, and it's kind of broadening the scale, opening the game up for players to really enjoy the experience all the way through. And like we were talking about with Kratos and his son, you know, it's really a Joel and Ellie type of adventure, and I think something like that, you really have to try a new experience. But I also, you know, commend Sony Santa Monica for looking at Naughty Dog and saying, look, you know, these guys made a successful game like this. We can do the same thing. Let's just add our spin on it. And I think the game's going to be great.
So now we can move on to Horizon, a game that we first saw at E3 last year. We got a little bit more gameplay that told us a little bit about the game. It is an actual open RPG, so you can travel where you want in this game.
Yeah, Horizon, I mean, like I said, from day one of last year seeing it, the game looks absolutely great. They got a great team behind it, Guerrilla. We're really cool with those guys, and, you know, they gave us a few details about Horizon, and it's a great game. We actually got a hands-on demo after watching the presentation, and I can tell you, even though the controls seems kind of simplified to a couple other games, it's going to be a really in-depth RPG system with this game that I think players will enjoy and appreciate.
Right, and we got to actually play it hands-on, and it's a real intuitive game, especially after watching so many demos of it. You know, I got in there and I was able to take down one of the mounds really easily with the rope caster, and then I hacked it and just was riding around. So it's really easy to, you know, catch on to and play.
Yeah, I have to agree. The thing that I really love about this game is the detail and the textures on the characters and the enemies as well. There's not many characters or enemies in this game that looks the same, and that shows that the developer really went in and gave everyone their own significant, unique personality, even the enemies. So it's great.
There's going to be a few different mech types, so the game's just definitely going to be interesting.
Yeah.
The story should be good because I believe they got one of the writers from Fallout to write for this story. I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, it's Guerrilla Games. One of the things they really excel at are visuals, and this game definitely looks amazing. Even the frame rate, I would say, is solid. They still got a little bit more work to do on it, but it was pretty stable.
What do you think, sir?
Yeah, well, seeing that it's going 1,000 years into the future, it's kind of cool to see that Guerrilla Games kind of did this twist to having a futuristic game, but with using features of like the Stone Age period. So you still have a bow. I'm hyped to see that, you know, they have as you mentioned before, the mechs in the game actually carry cargo. You have different mechs that carry stuff for you to craft and stuff. So I like that system as well. It seems to be like a nice survival mixed with like an action RPG. So I'm hyped to actually see it. I mean, we played twice. I thought it was a great game. I want to get some more depth into it. But honestly, I think it's going to be a great experience.
Right. So now, Days Gone, a new IP from Sony Bend. This is what they've been working on. We actually got an extended look at this game, and in the extended look that we saw, he actually went a different path than what all of you saw at the E3 demo. So it wasn't just one set path that he could have went on top, where he went past the bridge and he just got surrounded by all these zombies, I guess they are.
Yeah.
They actually showed us he went a different path, ultimately ending there. But yeah, it's a more open game than they showed you. I believe one of the devs even said that your bike is a key.
It's a vital tool.
Yeah, vital tool in the game. Yeah, you hold your inventory there, and there's a certain limit of what you can take in each area. So it's not like your character just has like infinite pockets or anything like that. You know, your bike is in your inventory, and you decide what to take at each area. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think the thing that I really liked about Days Gone is, you know, from seeing it from the PlayStation briefing to looking at the extended demo, and a thing that a lot of the PlayStation first-party studios have really been working on is giving a lot of these gamers choices within the game. We've seen it in Horizon, we've seen it in Uncharted, and now we're seeing it in Days Gone. And with him playing the game, he actually went a different route, and showed gamers that, you know, just because we did it this way in the PlayStation conference, you can do it this way, but every choice you make will have a different outcome, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm liking the concept of taking the bike and everything. I would say it's somewhat of a new concept. It is reminiscent of other games we have played in tone and concept and everything like that. The visuals do look good. The game is still obviously in early development because probably most of you saw it that it was a little bit choppy during the demo.
The frames kind of dropped a little bit when we seen a lot of the undead. Kind of surrounding them.
This is one of the games that I think is really going to take advantage of PlayStation Neo, because just the amount of enemies is going to take up a lot of CPU. There's a lot of things going on screen. So I think PlayStation Neo, this game is obviously going to come out way after that. So I think this game will benefit from that.
Definitely.
So
Honestly, like the guy said before, I think what's even better about this game is that it's not only just your character that plays a role, but what you're equipped with. So what they mentioned before is that the bikes play a huge role in this game. You need to make sure that you use that and utilize that to your full advantage. Seeing also that they mentioned, well, they didn't want to give us the word, and I've asked of whether or not there'll be co-op implemented into it, because I could see that, and I love the fact that there's games that I think about when I seen this. So games like The Last of Us, or even like The Walking Dead or something like that, like stuff like that got me really excited for this game. I want to see where they expand to in this game. I thought it ran smooth for seeing that amount of zombies. I thought it actually ran smooth. So hopefully, you know, with the PS4 or just the Neo, we have a more broader experience and no real frame drop issues.
Right. So after that, or it might have been before that, we got a Last Guardian little short gameplay and the release date, which is what everybody was, you know, waiting for. It's coming out this October. So you can look forward to that this October. It's finally here, so we can see how it turned out.
Yeah, people been waiting for this game for a long time, and at one point I was telling people like, yo, just give it up, it's not coming. But you know, last year they finally shut everybody up and showed everybody, you know, we got Last Guardian coming, this is what you've been waiting for, and this year they delivered. They said a couple weeks actually prior to E3 that it was coming, it was confirmed to come in 2016, and now they confirmed it at the PlayStation briefing. So I think it's great. I mean, there's a lot of people that follow the series and they're ready for The Last Guardian, and well wishes to you.
Yeah, and then we got a little bit insight into Detroit Becoming Human. So this is going to be a game that has obviously multiple paths that have all different, you know, consequences and ramifications depending on what actions you choose, which is what, you know, David Cage games and Quantum Dream games are known for.
They usually base a lot of their games on that, and I think with every Quantum Dream game, they just get better and better. I mean, a lot of people, when Heavy Rain came out, it was kind of a mixed response from the public, but I think it was very acclaimed. But every game, like I said, from Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, which is my favorite game from Quantum Dream, and now with Detroit Becoming Human, I mean, the art style, everything about it, man, it just get better. So I think David Cage is on top of his game, and I think Detroit will be good.
Yeah. So then we had a couple of VR sections, because what was interesting and what I liked is Sony didn't bore us with the demonstrations of VR. They just decided to just show us the VR games, and it was a real nicely paced conference overall. So there was Farpoint VR, confirmed Battlefront VR, Batman Arkham VR, Final Fantasy 15, and even Resident Evil 7. So what did you think about the whole VR section and catalog?
And we've been trying a lot of VR since we've been here all week, and I must tell you, listen, if you are not planning on picking up a PlayStation VR, you might want to reconsider. They have a lot of games here that are very immersive and that are taking over genres that have been taken over or held down for a long time. I personally tried Farpoint. Definitely a great first-person shooter, virtual headset experience. Resident Evil 7, scary as hell. And VR, we tried out Rigs, that was great. But I think it's great, and I've been saying it for a long time. Sony needs to get their first-party studios involved with their technology like this. That's the way it's gonna shine.
Right. And then after that, they did a little bit of fan service and gave people what they've been asking for in somewhat of a way.
Yeah.
Crash Bandicoot 1 to 3, and 3 was warped.
Yeah,
3 was warped.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3
remastered, and it's also coming to Skylanders. I was actually doubtful. I was like, Sony is not going to do it. Most people wanted an actual new game.
Yeah.
They didn't give us that, but they gave us remastered.
Probably.
Well, the thing I said about a new Crash Bandicoot game is the reason why they're giving us a remaster, because it's so easy to go back and remaster a game that's already made. But if you think about it, Naughty Dog has been working on these serious titles for some years now. So I think it's more not about wanting to make a new Crash Bandicoot game, because they obviously are they are talking with Activision about a lot of deals. It's just that who's gonna make the Crash Bandicoot game now if Naughty Dog doesn't want to make it?
Right. Spider-Man by Sucker Punch. This was one thing I doubted.
No, Insomniac.
Sorry.
Very impressed.
So it was something I actually doubted, because I didn't think like their talents would be, you know, used to make a Spider-Man game. But a lot of people have been wanting a Spider-Man game for quite a while now. A good Spider-Man game, because it's been a few generations.
Yeah, it's been a while. What was the last Spider-Man game that came out?
Oh man,
Spider-Man
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Okay, got you.
The last good one might have been on that I played was probably on PS1. Some people said Web of Shadows on PS3 was good though.
Yeah, I haven't played a Spider-Man game since like Spider-Man 3, and like was in 2007. And yeah, like I said, I think with this Spider-Man game, with Insomniac making it, it might just turn out to be one of those games like Batman Arkham Asylum, where they just take the Batman and the whole universe around that and just explode it and blow it up. I mean, everybody loves Spider-Man already, but if you can make a good Spider-Man game that people really love, it'd be awesome.
One of the biggest things was seeing how much life was in the city. Spider-Man games lack so much depth with the city, you know, and the city really revolves. If it's not only Spider-Man, it's really the city that's supposed to be very important in that game. So I like to see that Insomniac games really embrace the city in which Spider-Man resides in. I was super hyped to see it, and it's funny because I played the Spider-Man games before, but I think just to see actually Spider-Man had a different kind of, like a sort of a different like pattern on his costume, but just to see like, wow, like they really put some dedication into this Spider-Man trailer. I don't believe it was gameplay though. I think it was more like CG.
More CG.
I still see the inspiration in behind the title, so hopefully we see some gameplay on that too.
Right, and you know, I saw some authentic Spider-Man movement, so that looked really cool.
Hideo Kojima.
Oh yeah, Death Stranding.
We almost completely forgot.
Oh,
Death Stranding. Listen, the fact that all this controversy around Hideo Kojima and Konami, and the fact that Norman Reedus was in the game and we thought we weren't getting anything Silent Hill, and the fact that he came out on stage in the presentation he did, showed us the game, and Norman Reedus is in this game still working with them, absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely.
Yeah, so Sony definitely did their thing. A lot of people went crazy when Hideo came out. A lot of people are going to look forward to his game. It's going to be probably a strange, unique game because it is Hideo. That's what he does. Didn't expect to see him come out this soon because the game is probably still very early, and it was interesting to see that, you know, he's still working with Norman Reedus after PT, you know, got canceled and failed, didn't work out with Konami and everything like that. So yeah, that's Sony's press conference. In my opinion, I think it was number one, and yeah, it was great. Probably one of the best conferences just in E3 history.
Very
definitely
long time. Yeah.
in a long time, and definitely easily Sony's best press conference in a long time.
Oh yeah.